What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing? Sorry for the random bit at the beginning of this episode where I didn't realise I hadn't put my holding screen on. So you literally saw me looking at the camera, looking back at my door, and then realising the camera was rolling and I needed to quickly change it. But we are now live, so thank you so much for joining the stream. And we have loads to talk about already because, of course, we have loads to talk about. We have double game weeks, blank game weeks. Spurs are playing tonight against Rochdale, and I'm literally just going to put that on right now so I'm up to date with what the score is. And we will start with the stream. Hello to everyone already in the chat. We've got Thomas McCarthy, we've got AM Saturday, we have Michael Foley, we have Amit Patel as well. So thank you guys so much for joining the stream so early, bright and early. It's always good when the flock is early. And I'll take that out of my ear now. And it's 1-1 Tottenham Rochdale at the moment. And from what I've seen on Twitter, apparently there's a lot of controversy around video replays. And apparently it not working. So I haven't seen any of it because I've been setting up the stream. But that's interesting to hear. As far as drinks, of course, what is everyone drinking? I'm actually only drinking a soft drink tonight because if my wife goes into labour, I probably shouldn't be like a bit tipsy. And I actually don't have any alcohol in the house that I'm allowed to drink. The only alcohol I've got in the house is champagne, and that's kind of for a special occasion, which would be when my daughter is born. So I'm on the soft one today. I'm not sure how the stream will go because it's been a while since I've done a stream without alcohol. I hope you all also checked out the videos I put up today. 2 videos today. So if I do suddenly disappear because my wife's having a baby, at least you've got plenty of content to be getting through. Thomas McCarthy, I bet no one likes and shares this. Alright, Amit Patel, how are you doing? There we go. Jan Jacobson saying the video ref is ruining the game. We've got some birds in the chat. We've got Jeff Holt in the chat. Missed out yesterday, apparently just. But yeah, today he is here from the beginning. The PR man for FPL today is in the chat. Of course, Jan Jacobson, if the video ref's being that bad, you can talk about that first before saying hello to me. Alright, Aman Dylan, how are you doing? Look, I didn't have time, Jeff, to go and get an alcoholic drink. With the whole my wife might be going into labour, it just didn't happen. I've done all the housework and made videos for you today, so I didn't actually get out. So, Jan Jacobson saying the game is rigged. Apparently this Spurs game is rigged at the moment. You know what? If Tottenham lose, I'm happy to have Tottenham in the blank game week 31. I'm also then not happy about my video that I put out where I assume Tottenham are going to win this game because you would usually. We'll see AM Saturday. We'll see. We've spoke about it with the wife. We'll figure out a way to still do FPL videos. It may just be like a live stream and a video a week, but we'll figure out a way. We'll figure out a way. As far as live streaming my child's birth, my wife does actually want it to be filmed, but I'm not sure it's going to ever see the light of the internet, so. A man Dylan saying Tottenham in game week 31. Could be true, could be true. So, any FPL questions, or should I just do what I can sometimes do and find a random topic to rant about for a bit? And thank you, Jan. You have a drink on my behalf. You go ham for me, mate. You go absolutely ham. Because it feels weird not drinking, I'm not going to lie. And literally, I can't believe we've gone 6 minutes and there's not a single FPL question. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I do know apparently Delafeu has picked up an injury. So if you were looking at Watford players for the blank game week, Delafeu's got an ankle or foot injury. He'll be out for some time. No return date, but he is ruled out. So there's probably less options now in that Watford team to really pick from, because I'd say Delafeu and maybe Decore were the only two I would suggest. Maybe actually Daryl Janmat as well. He has got some good underlying stats. So that does mean potentially there's very few options, and they are playing Liverpool, of course. And if you're playing Liverpool, I would suggest that Liverpool are going to beat you right now, unless you're one of the big sides. So I would definitely right now be favouring not going for any Watford players. Is there anything else I can talk about that I know has happened? I know Neymar is apparently going to miss the Real Madrid game, but that's not really anything to do with FPL. AM Saturday, thank you for a question. Thank you for a question. Do you think having 8 players is enough for Game Week 31? I would suggest yes. If we quickly go to Game Week 31, I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you why it's not just me that thinks this. There's going to be 8 teams playing in the... unless Spurs, of course, do lose, then there'll be 10 teams playing. The 8 teams guaranteed to play. The only team you really want players from in the long term is Liverpool. Now, there are options in these other sides who are on form. Shaqiri right now is on form. Huddersfield, I suppose you could say they have some players attacking options. Van La Parra has been standing out recently. Everton, maybe you're looking at the likes of Niasse, Sigurdsson, Theo Walcott. Watford, Decore has always been a decent shout. Crystal Palace have their midfielder I can't say the name of, who takes penalties. Benteke has got great underlying stats, but has just been doing nothing with them. Bournemouth have the likes of Wilson, Ibe, Stanislas, King, Defoe to pick from, as well as some defenders who can get attacking points. And West Brom, their defence can always pop up with a goal. Chris Brunt's delivery has looked pretty good recently. And of course, they have got players you could take a punt on, Sturridge, Rondon as well. But in the long term, especially if you don't have a wild card for after Game Week 31, are these really players you want to be building your entire side around? I think a lot of people aren't going to be playing a free hit in Game Week 31. So I think a lot of people are going to have 8 or 9 players. This may not even necessarily be a high scoring game week in general. So if that is the case, you may get away with having 8 to 9 players. Now, of course, the more players you can have, the more chance you have of scoring points and having a good game week. But I feel like you can definitely get away with not having a full team of 11, because generally a lot of players are going to be looking to use their chips elsewhere. And those that do play their chip here, is there great options in the people that are playing in that game week? How many players are worth having 8 in Game Week 31? Again, I think I've just literally covered that. AM Saturday and Jeff Holt, great minds think alike. Is it too late for Shaqiri now? Has he gone up? Because it looks like he's going to go up in price tonight. Yeah, Shaqiri should be going up in price tonight. He's 6.2 million. What I would be wary of is Shaqiri has, I mean, from my memory, never been a player until this season that gets points regularly. He's more of one of those players that every now and again will pop up with a lot of points. Southampton next is decent. Of course, this Stoke-Man City game, or Man City-Stoke game, do you expect Shaqiri to get anything out of that? I doubt it. Then he is alright for Game Week 31, but then you want to be getting rid, because Arsenal-Spurs is not a good run. Those fixtures are okay, but then Liverpool as well. I think you've definitely missed some of the good fixtures he had, because Stoke did have a decent run of games. After Man United, it was Huddersfield, Watford, Bournemouth, Brighton and Leicester, which is why I bought Shaqiri in and managed to get some decent points off of him. You could still bring him in because he's still going to be of use to you in Game Week 31, but it would have been better if you'd got him in a little bit earlier. AM Saturday answering the question as well. I agree with you 100%. They don't have great fixtures soon. They've got one more decent fixture against Southampton, and they are of benefit because they're playing in Game Week 31. But after that, I wouldn't say Stoke players are a necessity. Would you recommend picking up players who will be part of Double Game Week around Game Week 34 and 35? FYI, keeping in mind I still have not used my wildcard. I mean, AM Saturday, you need to know when you're going to use your wildcard now, really. Because there's no need to bring him in unless you think they're going to do well straight away if you're going to use your wildcard before the Double Game Week 34. So what I would say is I would literally just focus, if you have your wildcard, on Game Week 31 players. And then after Game Week 31, that is when you hit that wildcard and you focus on Double Game Week 34 and Double Game Week 37. And you make the most of it, or your wildcard, through that method. Jeff Holt, are Arsenal just too bad to get any of their players? I mean, they've had a couple of decent performances, but they've not been consistent. Hence why I've not really taken the risk with any of them. I don't think I've had an Arsenal player since Aaron Ramsey, or Nacho Monreal might have been the last one I had in defence, and that was a while back, probably around Game Week 20-ish. So, I personally, the hierarchy I've got of teams is Man City and Liverpool players I need. Spurs players, I need some sort of Spurs coverage there. As you've noticed, I don't have any Chelsea players. I don't have any Arsenal players. I did have a Man United player. I transferred him out as well. So I think I've literally not covered most of the top teams, which is surprising for me. Usually I have top team coverage. But yeah, if Mkhitaryan, Aubameyang, Lacazette, Ramsey, if they started hitting the ground running, I'd consider bringing them in. But right now, they've not really been doing it, have they? Jan Arthur Jacobson wants the Spurs lost because he's got 3 Spurs players. I'll tell you what, it would make life easier if Spurs are in blank Game Week 31, because then you know, alright, I want Spurs coverage against Newcastle. So, oh wow, we have a super chat. Super chat from, I can't actually see who from. Let me scroll down to the bottom because it's not popped on the screen yet. From Jack Nash. Thank you so much, Jack, for the super chat. It's really appreciated. Can we get some hearts in the chat for Jack Nash? What a legend, donating to the stream. Birds, hearts, no statues of course because the haters aren't here right now. But thank you so much, Jack, for the donation. He says, I've been following your channel for 2 years and just wanted to say I really appreciate all the material and effort you put into this. All the best, Jack. Much love. I can't really do that heart thing that well. There you go. That's the best heart thing I can do for you. Much, much appreciated, my friend. Anyway, yeah, if Spurs do lose, I always get off track when I get a super chat like that. If Spurs lose, I'd say Kane is an option. Ben Davies seems nailed on at left back now, which would be great as well. So that is definitely an option there. Lloris would be a decent keeper to bring in, but of course then you've got the likes of Christian Eriksen, Dele Alli. I'd say Son is a bit too risky to bring in right now, purely because you've got Lucas Moura, Eric Lamela is back. I feel like Son, although I don't think he deserves to be dropped, could be dropped at vital times in the season. He may be saved for Champions League games and such. So I'd say you definitely got the core players to look at, but Spurs being in it would make it easier because then you don't have to pick from average teams, especially if you don't have a wild card. Florin Sandu's in the chat. How you doing, Florin? Much appreciated you joining the stream. Steve Shotton is joined. Nightmare journey home. I hope it wasn't too bad, but I'm assuming the snow had something to do with that. My daughter loves the snow, by the way. She thinks it's Christmas, though, so she keeps asking for presents, which is a little bit annoying. We're trying to explain to her that just because it snows doesn't mean it's Christmas. But just getting told, Daddy, where's my present all day? Yeah. I reckon I should just keep a present somewhere in the house, just in case. Craig Manuel, I've been on a downward slide recently, down to 80k. Took a hit to get rid of Lingard from Mahrez. Messed up that sentence completely, but yeah, we don't want to talk about Lingard in this stream because I took Lingard out of my team as well. And of course, that's the game week Lingard doesn't even start, but comes off the bench and actually scores a goal. And then the friend I was with was saying, Messi Lingard, and apparently it's Messi Lingardinho or something like that. Yeah, I'm not happy with Jesse Lingard. Florence Sander, could you help with some Arnautovic stats for the past 2 games, please? Def looking to bring him in. Of course we can. Of course we can. I've got to find him first, though, because I don't think he's been setting the world alight because of an injury recently. So he's not going to be near the top of my list of... He's a midfielder anyway, so I'm looking in the wrong list. I was looking in the striker list. There he is. In fact, he was really quick to find. Okay, so in the last 6 game weeks, but you want the last 2, so we'll quickly change that. Okay, last 2 game weeks, he has 1 goal, no assists. His goal involvement for the side has been a third, 33%. He's had 13 touches in the penalty box in 2 games. He's had 5 attempts on goal, 4 from inside the box, 4 on target. So that kind of suggests that most of his shots from inside the box have been on target, if not all of them. He's had 2 big chances in total, scoring 1 and missing the other. Minutes per attempt is decent at 33.4, meaning roughly he has about 3 good chances a game. His shot accuracy is quite high at 80%. His goal conversion, however, is at 20%. And as far as his chance creation goes, you've got through balls at 2, chances created 2, big chances created 1, no assists, and he creates a chance at least once a game at 84 minutes. So there are your Arnautovic stats. I would definitely say Arnautovic is a decent player to be looking at. As far as their fixtures though, Swansea Burnley is definitely good. If they were in Gameweek 31 it would be better. Then Southampton, but then I think it might get a little bit difficult after that. I know it's Chelsea in Gameweek 33, and I think their double game week isn't exactly the easiest either. I do go over it in my video, but yeah, off the top of my head I can't remember who they have to play still. Let me quickly find Arnautovic. So after Chelsea, it's Stoke. That Man United game will probably go in that game week 34. So Stoke and Man U. Then it's Arsenal, Man City. So that's a really tough run in. And I'd say Leicester and Everton aren't easy games either. So their fixture list isn't really that kind. It's unfortunately got an injury when the fixture list was pretty decent, to be fair, for them. But Arnautovic, definitely a good player. Looks like he's enjoying his time at West Ham at the moment. Jan Iver Jackson, I live north of the Arctic Circle, but you guys have more winter than us right now. That's not helping us, Jan. That's not making us feel any better. Gordon Gilbody in the chat. How you doing, Gordon? And Wazzers in the chat. Thank you guys so much for joining the chat. Any updates for Sterling? I think I get asked this a lot, and every single time I look, I do not see any update, which is worrying for me because I want him to be playing. Okay, from what I can see, it's going to be a late fitness test done tomorrow. 50%, it sounds like he's more likely to be ready for Chelsea or Basel, which means I doubt he's going to play against Arsenal. Which does mean I'd get some points coming off of the bench, but I don't think it's anything decent. It's Richarlison with 1 point. So yeah, if that had been Lingard and Sterling didn't play, I'd be over the moon. But it's not, so... C'est la vie. C'est la vie. I'm following the same chip strategy as you, and I also use my triple captain on Kane in his double game week from Craig Manuel. It's the most popular strategy, and it's probably the most popular strategy for a good reason. It does seem the best way to maximise your points, and why wouldn't you want to maximise your points as much as possible? Sorry, just quickly checking my phone. The reason I did that video though was because people were saying, well, what if I've used this, what if I use that? What I didn't cover in that video, which may be another video, is what if you don't have your wildcard or free hit, which of course would be even more difficult to be able to navigate. So could be some more content on the way to you guys, but of course it's all dependent on the birth of my child. Gordon Gilbody donating £5 to the flock as well. Thank you so much, Gordon. What can I say? Some more hearts in the chat. some more hearts in the chat. Let's quickly go down and read what he had to say. Oh, he didn't say anything, but you know what? The feeling, the sentiment is there. Thank you so much for the donation, my friend. Man, it's going to be another one of those emotional streams, isn't it? Where you guys show me some incredible support, and it's all appreciated. And yeah, now I'm completely lost track again. Was talking about Sterling. So I think we moved on to Craig Manuel using the same strategy. It does seem the best strategy. The free hit, as soon as it came in, I thought you use it in a blank game week. Then you don't have to plan in advance and have because you kind of weaken your side up until that game week, and then you have to rebuild your side afterwards, unless you got stuff like the free hit and the wild card to use afterwards. Jeff Holt, if you could pick only, if you could only pick, I can read fantasy players for the North above Birmingham or South, being Birmingham and below, I believe that should say. I'm presuming, would I pick, say, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, those sort of teams, Southampton, Bournemouth players, or would I pick above, which hopefully I don't make a fool of myself in my geography. You've got Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Huddersfield, those sort of sides, Newcastle. I would probably go North because I'd want Man City and Liverpool. And they would completely dominate the facts of the other teams. So that would definitely be the way I'd look to go. I think you've got Burnley players. I think Burnley's up there as well. Steve Shotton doesn't want Sterling to play because then Lingard comes in. I wish I was in the same boat as you, Steve. I wish. Craig Manuel, hearts in the chat. Thank you very much for that, Craig. Birmingham and below. See, you've gone completely opposite way than me, Jeff. Could be an interesting thing we could do next year. At Frontano on that, which has been alright a couple of last games, which has scored 5-0-0-8-2. I think he's been injured for those zeros, though. What's the minimum rank you would be happy to finish on, JNO? The minimum rank, I need to be top 1%. I think I mentioned it a lot, especially in the pre-season. I kind of advertise myself as a top 1% player. If I fell outside of that, I'm not the type of person that's going to say something that isn't true. So that would be the minimum. So that is around 57,000, I believe. Or 58,000 now. So as long as I'm in the top 58,000, I'll be happy. I do want to get in the top 10k because I was so close last season. And I'm hoping I can make a big push for that. But again, a lot of big players are going to be using that strategy. I'm just hoping there's enough around me that have already used chips and wildcards. Okay, we got Walid Khattab, Son, Mora or Lamela in the Spurs midfield. I would go none of them because I don't feel confident in any of them being nailed on. Off of form that I've seen in the league this year, Son would be my choice if all of them were playing, because I know what Son can do in the Premier League. But that being said, I'm just not sure who is going to play out them lot, because I don't see Eriksen being dropped, and I don't see Ali being dropped, and of course Kane isn't going to be dropped. He might be rotated, of course, they all might be rotated, but those are the main three, so I wouldn't want to be trying to guess who the fourth main person is going to be. Thomas McCarthy, happy to finish top 4 million. Next season, Thomas, we'll get you higher than that. JNO has such a relaxing sounding voice. Really, Vinny? Thank you very much. I'd never have personally thought of myself as a guy with a relaxing voice. So, who knew? Who knew? Maybe I should do one of those. Is it ASMR? That could be something completely different. Whatever those YouTube channels are where they kind of whisper and make noises in the microphone. Maybe I should do one of them on the side. Steve Shotton, a good plan maybe to hold all transfers to as late as possible this week with the inclement weather in case of postponements, any of which could drop into game week 31. Potentially, I would... The weather is, of course, something that could play a big factor if it continues the way it has done. Would they put it into game week 31? I think they'd have to, because with the World Cup coming up, they are trying to finish the season slightly earlier, of course. Where else could they really put it? Spurs have just scored, Llorente. That was very quick into the second half as well. So, looks like Spurs won't be in this game week if that continues. Yes, I would say I would hold 2 transfers if you could anyway, just for game week 31, because then you can react to any injuries. For instance, if you'd already brought in Deulofeu, that is going to hurt you as far as your plans are concerned. So there's always a possibility that weather does postpone games, and then you just got to try and be flexible enough to react. I need Sterling to play tomorrow. Dunk will come in with a big fat 0. Yeah, I'm... See, the thing for me is if Sterling plays or not, I think I should have an okay game week. And my opponent in the FPL Cup still has Sterling anyway. So no matter what Sterling does, that doesn't help me in the FPL Cup. It's purely Otamendi. If I can watch that game, I'll just be hoping, 1, Otamendi doesn't start. That'd be fantastic. But 2, if he does start, Arsenal do really well. He doesn't get a clean sheet. He doesn't score. Ricky Lids cheering on Rochdale. Keith Edwards has Shaqiri on the bench, so hoping Sterling sits out. To be honest, from what I've just read, it looks like Sterling won't play. That's my gut feeling. Thank you, Craig, for the very best for my baby number 2. TP is in the chat as well. Baby is due on Monday, Keith. But the missus last night said she had some contractions. It's kind of stopped. She is having a checkup tomorrow. Everything's probably fine. But we had a feeling it could be today. It's not been today. So that's another reason I didn't go out and get any beer. Small donation for a beer. I might have to go to the shop after this stream then just to get a beer. It's J&O, you don't know. Hereford are 7 points clear with 2 games in hand. And you get a snow day tomorrow. My boss has already told me I'm not allowed a snow day tomorrow because I live too close to work now. Which is always good because it means I've got more time to spend with the family. But now I don't get a day off work if it snows. Craig Manuel, I'm playing some Football Manager while watching you. Any plans from you to play on the other channel? The other channel. Now, the thing is, I did start the Elite Journeyman. Had good plans for it. The problem is I'm thinking it may be a case of I just have to start streaming games. Because to record it and to edit it and to do it at a level I'd want to do, I feel like... Because I had a vision what the Elite Journeyman would turn into, and I just don't have the time to put that kind of effort into it. So it may be that I start to stream, and if I do start streaming games, I may do it on Twitch. Just because I feel like Twitch is a better platform for streaming, and I get no benefits from doing it on my other channel. So, Football Manager and maybe games like FIFA, maybe some golf games, whatever I've got, I might start to stream. But on the other hand, I don't want to stop playing games with my mates in any downtime I do happen to get when I'm not doing this. So we'll see. I definitely do want to do gaming, but it may be that I move to Twitch. I am leading in the cup, TP, but it's only by a small amount of points, I believe. I think I was on 75, he was on 71 or something like that. Yeah, I'm on 75. I'm on 56. He's on 51. So I'm 5 points ahead. But he has Otamendi to play, and Otamendi is on my bench. So I need Otamendi to not get points. Why I put Otamendi on my bench, I don't know. I thought he might get rotated. I thought the cup game, I don't know. I could be right in the end, but I kind of wish I'd put him on now. At one point, Duffy, me, and Pope all had a clean sheet. So I was quite happy with my choice. And then it just all went downhill. Thank you very much, Keith. Much appreciated. Coleman, cheeky differential for Game Week 31 if fit. I'd say yes, but I'm not sure I'd want to take the risk of putting him in, because I still think a player needs match sharpness and all that. TP's team has got De Gea, Pope, Daniels, Otamendi, me, and Bemba, Monreal, James Ward-Prowse, Salah, Sterling, Lingard, Grosh, Depoitre, Kane, and Firmino. Opinions. Well, as far as your team for Game Week 31, you have quite a few players who aren't going to be playing in that. So I don't know if you've got a plan for that, but at the moment, De Gea, Pope, Otamendi, me, and Bemba, Monreal, James Ward-Prowse, Sterling, Lingard, Grosh. Is Depoitre Huddersfield or Burnley? Oh, Brighton. I've forgotten. Wow, that's embarrassing. And most likely Kane as well isn't going to be playing. So you're going to struggle in Game Week 31 unless you've got a plan. Breakthrough on my Instagram account with 50k followers, joined my FPL league, and I recommend it to his followers. Nice. Nice to see your channel, not your channel, but your Instagram growing. Jan Iver Jacobson saying good luck with the baby, got 4 of them, fantastic every time. I remember literally the first one, Aria. I don't think it fully dawned on me until she was born. And then when she's born and you're holding her, that's when it dawned on me that I was a dad. Until then, I know my wife was walking around with a big belly and I'd felt the baby kick, but it didn't really dawn on me until the baby was born. I kind of think it's the same thing this time, because whilst I can, of course, do all I can for my wife, don't really get the connection with the kid in my eyes until they're born. But yeah, it was one of those moments that your life completely changes. And by the way, it looks like Spurs have scored again. So it's 3-1 now. Looking very, very likely that Spurs aren't in Game Week 31. But thank you for that, Jan. If things are tough, think of the flock. I understand the decision to go to Twitch. Really enjoy watching your content, but don't ever use Twitch. I know. The reason I keep kind of going back to the YouTube channel is because I know I've built at least 300 subscribers there. But the thing with Twitch, and I did try and do a low-key method of just recording myself playing and then uploading it very unedited, and I still feel like I'd want to do some sort of intro or something to make it a bit different. And I just don't feel like I've got the time to make myself stand out on YouTube. So unfortunately, that is why I've been considering Twitch. Right now, it may just be that I fully focus on the FPL stuff. I have considered just streaming Football Manager on this channel, say on a Saturday or a Sunday. I can then still talk about the Premier League as it's happening, but then also give some of you guys something else. Now, if it would work or not is another question, because when I used to do that, there was a big difference between my Football Manager and FIFA views compared to my FPL views. So that is why I'm partly thinking of not doing that. But it's potentially something I might do. Evening, by the way, FPL Red Eagle. TP Football Analysis, once a child arrives, does that mean you're going to stop streaming, or with the new house move, can you still stream? Now, the thing is, it's going to be a bit of trial and error. The plan is I will continue to stream. Having spoken with the wife, Mrs. JNO, we've got 2 Moses baskets. The baby can be in the Moses basket in the sitting room. Oh, wow. Have we got another super chat from Alex Howlett now? What is going on? Thank you so much, Alex, for the super chat. Much appreciated. Hearts in the chat, please, for Alex Howlett. This support is just crazy, guys. Support is absolutely crazy. Anyway, going back to the streaming, me and the wife are going to try and work it out so I can stream. It could be that I stream more than make videos, because at least with this, it's an hour to 2 hours away from the missus, but that's it. Once I've recorded it, I just wait an hour or so and then upload it. It's already kind of been uploaded. I just release it publicly. So that might be what I do, whereas with the videos, I do the research beforehand, which of course does help with the streaming, because then I've already done the research, already have my ideas ready. But then I have to make the graphics. I have to watch Match of the Day for a lot of it, because I want to be able to give opinions based off of what's actually happening in games as well. And then I've got to record it, which only takes 10-15 minutes, a lot quicker than the stream. But then I've got to edit it, upload it, make sure all the release stuff is done properly. So it depends. But we will be trying to continue at least what I can do on this channel. That's another reason why there isn't much going on with the other channel right now, because I'm sure it's going to be difficult at first. Also, I'm going to be a lot more tired. The wife's going to be more tired. So we'll see how it goes. But we will be attempting to still stream and still keep the flock going, despite the fact of having a second child. And then, now that we've got a second room, bigger kids' room, it's likely we will move my second daughter into the other room earlier than we did the first. Now more experienced as parents, we're probably going to be more comfortable doing it earlier. So it's good signs. There's hope that we'll continue streaming. Ricky Lid, Bellerin, Mustafi or Sanchez and Ben Davies. Right now, I wouldn't bring in any of them purely because of the blank game week. If you've got them, I'd maybe take them out last minute. But for me, Ben Davies is the best option out of all four of those. Sanchez is the Spurs defender. Duh. I was thinking Alexis Sanchez. I would say the Spurs options. For me, I think Spurs, whilst they haven't been as good as I'd have liked them to be, and is that a fourth? Llorente is going ham right now. I know Llorente scored at least 2 of them. I would say Spurs are more reliable than Arsenal, so that I would go with Spurs. But I do like Mustafi as far as a goal-scoring option. Another super chat. Gordon, you're spoiling me now. So there's £5 for a beer, and now there's £5 for the baby. I will have to spend that £5 on the baby now. I'll let you know what I get the kid. Thank you so much for another super chat. We are rocking and rolling tonight. More hearts in the chat. More hearts in the chat. So, TV Football Analysis. Use free hit FA Cup quarter-finals. I'm not going to use the free hit because I'm going to use it for the Game Week 35 where the semi-finals are being played. So that's when I'm going to use it. You could use the free hit then. But I personally think it's better if we use it in Game Week 35. TP, go check out the video I've done with strategies about that. I explain everything. But for me, because we had plenty of time building up to Game Week 31, I've been planning for it in advance, knowing that the blank Game Week 35 is sandwiched between 2 double game weeks. So I want to be focused on getting the players in for the double game week, so that free hit is perfect for Game Week 35. Waleed Katab, Otamendi, Mbemba, Gomez, Mawson, Daniels. I have 2 free transfers and need to fix my defence. Any ideas? Right now, I would look at Game Week 31 players, like I said, unless you don't have a wild card. If not, I would be looking at Burnley defenders if you don't have any. They have been decent this season. Otamendi could maybe start coming out. He's not got a clean sheet in a while, but who knows? He could go and get a clean sheet tomorrow, which would destroy my FPL Cup run. Mbemba, Moritz Bauer seems very popular, but Stokes fixture list gets unkind. You've got Bournemouth options who can score goals, but you've already got Daniels. Let's actually go and have a look. Because fixture-wise, first of all, if I look at the fixtures, West Brom have a decent run of fixtures. Watford, Leicester, Bournemouth, Burnley, Swansea. So Craig Dawson has a goal-scoring threat as well as clean sheet potential. Once Huddersfield are past Tottenham, they've got Swansea, Palace, Newcastle, Brighton, Hove, Albion in the next 4. So you could look at Huddersfield options as well. Leicester have Bournemouth, West Brom, Brighton, Hove, Albion and Newcastle. Of course, they do blank in the game week though. So if we actually now go and look at the transfer list, and we look at defenders, you've got Maguire, who has been, whilst he is 5.5 million, he's got the fixtures now to do well and boost himself up. Who else did I say? Schindler, 4.6 million, 72 points so far, has a good run of fixtures. You've got Zanka as well at 4.5. Wow, the West Brom options are really far down. Is Gibbs even still playing? I mean, Hegazi, of course, is an option, but right now I'd say Dawson is the best option from West Brom. So those are the ones I would be looking at if you're looking for the cheaper options to be replacing some of those players with, some of those defenders. TP, I like your Football Manager series, but I prefer it that it stays on YouTube. Your FPL channel is essential for my success. That's the thing. I think the FPL stuff is fine where it is. FPL isn't changing. There's potentially a new project I'll be part of as well, which is part of my FPL side of stuff. The Football Manager series, there's a core fan base that do love it, but growth-wise and consistency-wise, I don't see myself being able to do much on YouTube with Football Manager. I know a lot of it is you should do it for fun, but I have fun with all the videos I make, and strictly speaking, it makes more sense for me to focus more of my time on this channel, because one, it's an area I can stand out in and get some success. Also, two, a lot more people rely on this channel than the Football Manager channel. And gameplay is something that is quite easy to stream, and then I might be able to be more consistent, whereas right now with the recording and editing and so on and so forth, I'm not putting a product I'm happy with on YouTube out with gaming. So that is why I'm considering moving it over to Twitch, because I feel like streaming wise I could do something decent in less time and be happy with it. Alex Howlett, congratulations on the little one. Thank you very much. Do you have an ultimate goal as to where you want this channel to be? Jack Nash, this channel, when it started, was just meant to be about stuff that I enjoy. It just so happens that I enjoy Fantasy Premier League, and that just took off and blew up. Football is a passion of mine. I would love to get to a place where I could be something similar to either a True Geordie or a Spencer FC. I'm not saying I'm going to build a team or anything like that, although who knows. Definitely probably getting to a point now where I'm getting a bit old to be playing football on YouTube. But I would love to do something along the lines of what True Geordie does or Spencer FC does, as far as talking about football as well as just FPL. FPL will always be part of it because I do love FPL. I love fantasy football. But I would at some point like to maybe see if I could branch this channel out into being a football channel. I like a football fans channel, go into games, talking about football, that kind of thing. TP, to be honest, at the old flat, it was very, very likely that we wouldn't have been able to carry on streaming. Purely because, yeah, the logistics of it probably wouldn't have worked where I would have enough time to do a decent stream. So, you know what? My old landlord's trying to raise the rent. It worked out in the end. Probably for the better, so. Patrick Butler, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you in the chat. Patrick Butler, if I copy your match day 2019, will I do rather well? No promises, Patrick. No promises. I mean, I've been doing decently recently, but I would not say... I would never say copy my side completely, because I'm not happy with my side right now. If I actually go look at the team, and I haven't made a transfer yet, Pope, there's the worry of him being dropped for Tom Heaton. Van Dijk I'm happy with. So Van Dijk I'd suggest you could go with. Kenny is a risk. He might not play. The reason he's there is because it looks like he's still getting game time. But Coleman is on the horizon. Me, again, Everton could do something against them. I'm happier with me than I am Pope, though, because he will at least play. Sterling against Chelsea. Looks like he could be playing in that match. I'm happy with any Man City player right now. You've got Shaqiri, who I'm very happy with recently. His form. Salah has been on fire. Walcott I brought in because of Game Week 31, but 3 games in a row he's not really done much. So not happy with Walcott. Not happy with Wilson. Similar story to Walcott. Brought him in after all of this good performances. Excuse me. Firmino Chaos I'm happy with. Any Liverpool player I'm pretty much happy with. He's been doing really well, so feel free to copy that. And Kane, always capable of scoring some points, although I would like a bit more from him considering how expensive he is. As far as Otamendi's a decent shout. Duffy with Arsenal, I wouldn't suggest bringing him in for an Arsenal fixture. But after that, it's not awful, but it's not great. Ricarlison, he needs to go, and Elliott I've not been happy with for ages. So I definitely wouldn't say just go and copy my side, because I'm not happy with my side. It's not like I'm sitting here going my side is perfect. I'm going to keep rising up the rankings. Alex Howlett, cheap defender and a swap for Wilson. If you're worried about Game Week 31, the issue there is there's really not a good striking option there. As far as if you're not going to worry about that, I would say you could potentially look at maybe, is it Glenn Murray from Brighton? After the Arsenal fixture, Everton, Leicester, Huddersfield, he could do something in that, and he is cheap. Is there any other cheap striker I'm really considering, though, other than that? Probably not. But that has been an issue all season. Cheap strikers have been hard to find. So I'm going to stick faith with Wilson at least until Game Week 31. As far as cheap defenders, I've already suggested a couple. We looked at, if I can remember now. Who did we look at? I was looking at, Maguire isn't really cheap. West Brom have decent fixtures, so Hegarty, but I prefer Craig Dawson. Bournemouth defenders always capable of scoring goals, so Aki is up there. Ward, any Burnley defender. If they got game time, Burnley defenders aren't bad. Huddersfield have decent fixtures, so you've got Schindler, and I believe on the next page you've got Zanka. Other than that, not really anyone standing out. There are some teams with tough fixtures coming up that would give you cheap defensive options. Jan-Ova Jacobson, if you get tired waiting for next season FPL, play Norwegian League Fantasy during the summer, remember to triple up on, I'm not going to try and say that team's name, but I know they're one of the best teams in the league. To be honest, with the World Cup, that won't be necessary this year, but who knows? Maybe I could branch out and be an international FPL player. Jamal Rice, how you doing? Good to see you in the chat, my friend. Mkhitaryan or Arnautovic, however you spell it. What are Arsenal's fixtures compared to West Ham's? Brighton, Hove Albion, Watford, Stoke, Southampton. I'll potentially take the punt because West Ham, Swansea, Burnley, Southampton isn't bad, but then it does get difficult because they've got a lot of the big teams from Game Week 33 onwards. Again, I'm always one to stay away from new players at new clubs, but Mkhitaryan could get the job done, so potentially I might take the punt, especially if you're wildcarding. Oh, 5-1, Son scored. I completely didn't even notice. So, yeah, it looks very unlikely now that Newcastle Spurs is happening. Which is good, because part of my prediction was that Spurs would win. Yes, TP, I definitely need to do something about my surroundings. Because I need something on the back wall. I've also got a vent in the top corner that doesn't look great. And then I need to figure out what angle I could do my streaming setup from. Because right now you're just seeing a door. And there's a door really exciting behind me. I would love to get an Elgato green screen. Because then I could impose myself on whatever background I wanted. And it's portable. It's literally... I don't know, it's something like that size or something, and it's not big. It's nice and easy to put in a corner, and then you can just wheel it out and have a green screen. So that might be something I look at some point, but of course right now, not necessarily something I can invest in, but in the future, potentially. Spencer FC, you should do an IMO series. I was going to do something similar to an IMO series, but it never really took off. I think... What did I call it? Because I did have something. But then it started off decent, the views, and then the views just dropped off. Maybe I should have continued it, but it was clear that it wasn't getting much traction, so I didn't bother. What did I call it? I only did it for 5 episodes, I think. Where is it? That's crazy looking over some of my views from my old videos. Views are so much higher at the beginning of the season. They're like ridiculous at the beginning of the season. There we go, the football recap. So this is where I just talked about stuff that was happening in football. How many episodes did I actually do? 1, 2, 3, 4 by the looks of it. I did Manchester City wait for Alexis Sanchez. Everton to pay Arsenal 30 million when Everton were trying to get Sanchez. Spurs fans banned for life. Troy Deeney charged with violent conduct. Ancelotti to Everton. Tottenham beating Real Madrid. Aguero Manchester City breaking top scorer record. Discontent at Chelsea. Neymar unhappy at PSG. Patrick Evra kicked from the game. And David Moyes appointed West Ham manager. So I was trying to do something like that, but it just didn't really take off. Why didn't you try to get on Fantasy Football Scout streams? You'll get a lot of people come over from there. Don't know if you've watched it. Ricky Lid, I have approached him. I haven't got much of a response, so I'm not sure I necessarily fit their USP, potentially. I would love to be on. Don't get me wrong, I will go on anything if it's talking about football. I've been on podcasts, I've been on other people's channels. I have approached them because I am a big fan of their website. Would love to do stuff with them, but it's not worked out yet. Maybe in the future. I do know that Mark Southern is aware of my channel, so who knows what might happen in the future. But right now, maybe it is I don't have the pedigree because I've only really been doing it 2 years consistently. This would be my 3rd year. So in the future, who knows? Catch you later, Craig Manuel. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you for popping along, and thank you so much for the support, my friend. It's much appreciated. Hearts in the chat for Craig Manuel. Vardy, I don't really look at Vardy, to be honest. What about Dunk? Scored quite a few. Has he? Because I've had Dunk and he hasn't been scoring for me. Oh no, I've got Duffy. Has Dunk scored a few? Have I been missing Dunk's goals? He's not scored any. I think he might be taking the mick out of me. Because I think I have suggested Dunk before. Because he had goal threat. But just hasn't actually managed to turn them into goals. Alex Howlett's asking how many points people have. He's got 52. 4 to play. You must have Man City and Arsenal players. I've got 56 with 1 to play potentially. Gordon Gilbody, Fantasy Football Scout, is like watching the Muppet Show on some sort of substance. To be honest, I've not watched many of their streams recently. Because, to be honest, I don't watch many people's streams unless I am free. I have popped into FPL Boss's stream recently and FPL Nymphoria, but it's one of those things, if I'm free and it comes on and I'm not doing anything, but the amount of times I am doing something, yesterday I started streaming when FPL Boss did. Fancy Locadia to play and score a few as a third striker after 31. The problem with Locadia is Murray is on such form. Are they going to drop Glenn Murray? But I would think Locadia could be a success if he got the game time. So I would definitely keep an eye on that, Keith. TP thinks FPL goes live as soon as the World Cup ends. I'm not going to get a break this summer, am I? Keith Edwards, I know the fixtures are rubbish, but you'll be surprised what can happen at the tail end of the season, because some teams don't have anything to play for anymore, whereas some teams have everything to play for, and you can get some crazy results. Arsenal do have a good run in. Shall I keep Jones? He's not been great recently. I would potentially consider shipping him out now. Jones, I think he's had his period of good fixtures. Gordon Gilbody, a back screen, try to screen with all the ads like the Premier League does. That could work if I could figure out... Can you buy them? If you could buy them, I could just literally have a fold-out one. Own goals for Dunk. True, I do remember own goals for Dunk, actually. Good point, Jan. TP, you're going to do World Cup FPL? I am. I don't think that FPL actually do a World Cup game, though, so I'm going to have to try and figure out which World Cup fantasy football to do. I did kind of do the Euros for fun 2 years ago, but I don't remember doing that well. So it's a lot more of a sprint as well, is a World Cup and a Euro Cup. So, and it's very thick and fast. It's one of those it's hard to get videos out for, so it may be something I just literally stream through, because literally there's a game every game week. There's a game nearly every day, so it's very hard to keep up with what's going on. It's a lot quicker, a lot faster, even less time to get videos out than in the FPL. But definitely I'll be doing something for the World Cup. Maybe some videos before it starts, and then just streams once it's started. Anyway, guys, I think we are coming to the tail end of this stream. So first of all, thank you so much to all the people that did some super chats in this stream. It is much appreciated. I did not think I'd be getting such a massive amount of support as I have done in this stream and in the other streams where super chats have happened and sponsorships and all that. It's always very, very heartwarming when you guys decide that what I do is good enough for you to donate some of your money, just as it is that you guys think it's good enough for you guys to come and join the stream every time I do it. All your support is huge for me and is what drives me to make sure I continue doing this and don't get lazy. So thank you guys so much. You're as much of a motivation to me as I am to myself. So if you do want to support the channel in any other way, there are the links in the description, but just watching is support enough if that is what you can do. I will definitely have a look, Gordon. I'll definitely have a look. Next stream, again, who knows? It depends on the wife when she goes into labour. I imagine I will not be streaming early next week. Maybe I can fit in a stream Friday night or Saturday night. But it's a bit hard to do a stream. What topics do you talk about when there are games being played? So I'd imagine maybe Wednesday, Thursday next week. But I don't know for definite. Actually, let me look at the fixtures. See if I can give you a more definitive answer. So, Gameweek29, Saturday 3rd of March. Saturday 10th of March. So I'd imagine Thursday. Wednesday, Thursday, maybe I'll be able to fit something in. But my wife could be in labour Tuesday, and then I'm busy until Friday. So apologies if I do miss a stream. I will do my absolute best to get a stream out for Game Week 30, because I've not missed a single game week yet this season, and I really don't want to miss one. So I'll get something out. It'll be a video, it'll be a stream, but something will happen. Anyway, guys, thank you so much again for the support. Hope to see you all in the chat next time we do a live stream. I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.